let's start from the beginning. So I've got the side chaining here, or the ducking. I'll go on to that later. So the leveling again. So I'm going to just go through. So I just level the minus 10 dB around. Like I use that as a starting point, and then if it needs turning up or turning down, then I'll do so. But some elements are really quiet, so sometimes they don't even need minus 10 dB. As long as you've got plenty of headroom when it all kind of adds together. So, next sound. But I'm going to play this along with the roads, and I'll like A-B it. So, I'll just solo this one. So these are literally doing nothing, so ignore this for now, because this is mixing with other elements. I'll just turn them off, why not? Just for now. Just to like demonstrate. So let's turn these off, start from the beginning. So we've got the minus. So I'm just going to turn this off just so it's louder, so we can actually hear what I'm doing. So I'll actually play it from the middle, just because there's automation here. So I'll play it here. So yeah, this really helps like stick out in the mix. So the high end really helps with the transients, makes them like stick out. It's like another way of really adding attack without using a transient shaper. And it also gives like color to the sound at the same time. So like I said in the roads, there's more than one way of adding to the transient. So yeah, this is quite an obvious change, and it also adds like level. Let's see how much it actually changes on level, like on the meter. So not that much, but you really do hear the difference because of the high end is really sticking out. All right, cool. So this is so now because in the compressor, I have to turn on this plugin now just so the input gain isn't like really above the threshold. It's actually where I set it when I was mixing it. So like with the one before, the Rhodes, I am actually compressing just to control the transient because it really stuck out a bit too much. I don't want it to like continuously burst your ears, especially after saturation when it adds a bit of level. So I'm going to A-B it. So I'm also adding a lot of output. So I'm adding a lot of level after the compressing. I guess we can just zero it, so that there's no addition or any level being taken away, just to demonstrate again. So you can literally see on the gain reduction meter that it's just getting the transient at the beginning. Like you see, like this level here is not being affected, like by the gain reduction. So with the autopan, this is actually to give. So the intention of this autopan is just to give a bit of space to the center of the mix. So with this going left, right, but only a bit, it like gives a small amount of space to the roads in the middle. So I can A/B it. It won't make a huge difference. I actually toned it down when I started adding more stuff in. I just toned it down. So it's not really interrupting the roads too much. I kind of want them playing at the same time. Like, I don't mind if they overlap a bit, but there is clear space there. Like they're not they're complementing each other really nicely. So this is the side chaining. So I'll get to this when I get to these sounds here. So Atmos, Sine, and then stem drum. Oh, I'm playing the wrong one. So I really like the sound. So this sound is actually a variation of the sound above. So it's like a higher octave and it's a lot longer tail. So you can imagine how they'll interrupt each other. That's why. So Atmos, Sine hit, Atmos, Sine, Atmos, Sine hit. You can see it's highlighted. So you can see the gain reduction meter. So when I was better just playing them at the same time. So that on the attack of the sound, the gain reduction meter goes down because, like, the way you listen to things, if you hear the transient or the beginning, your brain will kind of like figure out the rest. That's kind of like psychoacoustics, which I may probably that's a pretty good video idea later on. So that. So it just adds that extra element of space, like space in the mix. Since this is actually like really, so in FL Studio, part of the sound design is that it's full of reverb, and like naturally that pushes stuff back in the mix because you're like placing it in a room, and it's really obvious that it's in like a hall type reverb. So it's actually quite further back from that effect, like naturally. Like, but even and it's part of the sound design as well. So, but I still added some effects as well to this. So I'm just gonna listen to it again. Turn these off. I'll turn that on because this is the gain. So this is adding a lot. And it really complements it being such a high atmospheric sound. Like this plugin is just it's just amazing. Like it's the saturation you think of. That's why I use it maybe more often than I should, but it works, so it works. But I do use trash as well, but I use trash more in sound design. But so yeah, back to the sound. So yeah, this really narrows the dynamic range, so I can have it quite loud. So you can see the gain reduction meter is constantly going through. So I'm not actually taming transients with this compressor. I'm actually taming the whole sound. So this is actually in the sample pack, this sound. And if you buy the project file, you'll get the Serum preset. So you can see how, even though you hear it fade out, you still see the dynamic range is such a low dynamic range, just to help it consistently stand out. So yeah, because it'll kind of fade into nothing too early. That's what's great about this compressor. And then I re-level it at the end, so it's not too loud because I narrowed the dynamic range that much. And in fact, I probably could have. I probably should have just, because it's plus 10 dB here and I minus 10 dB here, so I was trying to re-level it back, and it turns out I just set it back to the same level, but it didn't make a difference. So that stuff kind of happens in mixing, I guess. So adding the next element in.
Yeah.
So let's just.
One's on. He's on.
How's he not dead?
One's dead.
Oh, he hit
Somebody
me,
needs to
bro.
repair.
I'm dead.
Yeah, one's dead.
I'm dropping their anchor.
Okay, somebody needs to repair.
Yeah, I'm
no.
getting on their ship.
I'm getting up.
I'm repairing. I'm repairing.
Alright, okay.
I'm on to our ship still.
One of them's
Yeah,
in
somebody-
our ship. One of them's in our ship.
They're looking for them.
He's in our ship. He's on our ship. He's like in the captain's quarters around the back.
He's dead.
Okay.
I hope that's our ship shooting cannons.
Yeah, yeah.
It is. Stay on their boat and defend.
Yeah.
They will argue about that.
There we go.
Yeah, they're almost to their mid deck.
He's out.
You guys ready to give up yet? You guys ready to give up yet? Come on, give up, guys.
They're on their mid deck. You got to get on the ship. They might be sinking. I don't know.
Yeah, they're sinking fast. I'm on their
They're
ship.
gone,
They're
they're
done.
Suck.
Are we going back to Smuggler's Bay then? I guess.
They're coming on our ship. There's one coming up the ladder right now. Willy dilly rot.
Oh, I'm stuck. Oh, yo, what the heck? I couldn't even.
Bye, Willy.